Hey guys, it's Ryan here from Explained, and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we'll be watching a movie titled Nightmare on Elm Street from 2010. What happens when you get chased by a killer ghost in your dreams? Can you manage to keep yourself awake to save your life? Let's get started. Turn on subtitles and spoilers ahead. The movie starts and we see Dean inside a cafe who's been drinking too many cups of coffee. He tries to get the waitress's attention to get one more cup of coffee, but the waitress doesn't pay attention to him. He follows the waitress into the kitchen, and there he's encountered with a mysterious figure with sharp claws. Dean gets attacked by that figure, and then he wakes up from his sleep. Dean is still in the cafe, and he had just fallen asleep. When he checks his hand, he sees that the claw had managed to cut him for real. Actually, Dean has been trying to keep himself from falling asleep because whenever he does, he gets attacked by the same mysterious figure in his dream, who wants to take his life. Dean's friend Chris comes to visit him. Dean tells her about everything that's been going on, the crazy nightmares he gets when falling asleep, and how he hasn't slept in 3 days. The nightmares started since his childhood, but lately it's been getting more real. Chris tells him that it's just a dream and he doesn't need to overthink it. During their conversation, Dean accidentally spills coffee over Chris, after which she goes to clean herself. While waiting for Chris to come back, Dean can't help but fall asleep. Then the ghostly figure reappears in his dream and ends up killing him, while in the real world, it appears that Dean is killing himself. After his death, everyone thinks that Dean committed suicide. At his funeral, Chris sees a picture of Dean, in which she finds herself in the background. She gets shocked to see this, as she never met him before high school. She tells this to her ex-boyfriend Jesse. She also tells him that Dean's last words before taking his own life was, "You're not real." To Chris, it feels like Dean wasn't in control of himself, and someone else was making him do that. Jesse tells her that she's just too stressed with everything and she shouldn't overthink it. Then their friend named Nancy comes up to them, and she too believes that Dean's death was unnatural. Jesse doesn't want Chris to get any more stress, so he takes her away from there. That night, Chris can't fall asleep. She starts to check her old pictures and sees a few of the pictures missing from the album book. She goes to the garage and starts to look for more photo albums. And then she finds a box which has her photo of when she was a child and a dress which has been cut out. She then sees the same ghost which killed Dean in his dreams. That figure grabs hold of Chris and asks her if she remembers him. Chris shouts in fear and she wakes up in her bed. Next day at school, having not slept for the entire night, Chris dozes off in class, and in her dream, she yet again meets the ghost with a sharp claw. That ghost starts to come forward, and just when it's about to hurt her, she shouts in fear and wakes up. She sees that her hair has been cut for real, and she hurriedly runs out of class. That night when Chris is in her room, Jesse comes to visit her. He's concerned with how Chris behaved in class and wants to know what's happening. Chris then tells him about the nightmares that she's been having ever since Dean's death. She tells him about that mysterious ghost which tries to kill her. Jesse asks if the ghost has a sharp claw. Hearing this, Chris gets nervous that they're both being haunted by the same ghost. Jesse consoles her and says that they should stop thinking about it. Chris hasn't slept for 2 days, so she asks Jesse to stay with her. The two of them sleep together, and then Chris sees the same ghost in her dream. She wakes up and goes to wash her face, but when she returns, the ghost is sleeping beside her. Her body starts to move on its own, and Jesse sees it all with his eyes. He realizes that their dreams weren't just a nightmare. Despite seeing Chris get controlled by the ghost, he simply cannot do anything. Chris's body gets thrown all around the room, and she finally ends up getting killed. Jesse gets scared after witnessing all of this, and he goes to see Nancy and tells her that Chris got killed in her sleep. Since she was agreeing with Chris back at the funeral, he believes that Nancy is getting the same dreams as him and Chris. Nancy tells him that she too gets nightmares where she keeps on hearing a song. In that song, she hears a name, and the name is Freddy Kruger. Now they know the name of the ghost which has been haunting them and so far killed 2 of their friends. Jesse warns Nancy to not fall asleep as they don't know who the next target is for Freddy. They have to figure out how to stop Freddy Kruger from killing them. Just when Jesse gets out of Nancy's house, he gets arrested by the police in suspicion of Chris's murder. He gets sent to jail and he tries everything in his power to not fall asleep, but his body gives up to tiredness, and yet again he gets a nightmare. He finds himself in an unknown factory where he sees 2 young children looking at him. Then he comes face to face with Freddy Kruger, whose face is all burned up and his fingers are sharp as a knife. Jesse runs away from him, but running is of no help, And this is Freddy's world, where he controls everything. Jesse gets caught, and he too falls victim to Freddy Kruger. Meanwhile, Nancy meets her friend Quentin, who's taking pills to not fall asleep. Just like his friends, he too has been getting the same kind of nightmares. Nancy finds it weird how all of them are getting haunted by Freddy Kruger in their dreams, and why he's after their lives. She asks her mother if she has any connection with her friends. She asks if they were in the same school growing up or if they know anyone by the name of Freddy. Her mother says no, but she's definitely hiding something. Nancy later goes to her bathtub to freshen up, where she accidentally falls asleep, and Freddy begins his job. In her dreams, Nancy finds herself in the same elementary school where she went as a child. And then she meets with Freddy Kruger, who says that she might have forgotten about him, but she has always remained his favorite. Freddy starts to get closer to her, and then Nancy gets woken up by a call from Quentin. She tells Quentin about what Freddy told her in her dream. She meets Quentin and tells him that her mother might be hiding something from her. They start to search for any kind of clue that might point them towards how they all are connected to Freddy. They find an old photo from Nancy's play school. In that photo, she sees that Quentin, Dean, Chris, Jesse, and herself went to the same play school when they were children. But the weird thing is, none of them remember that, and their parents never brought it out. It was always kept a secret from them. Nancy's mom soon arrives there and is confused about what's going on. Nancy asks her about the picture she just found. Then her mother tells her the whole story. When they were all in play school, there was a gardener there whose name was Fred Kruger. Fred was loved by everyone at the play school, and he was so very fond of the children there. He was especially very attached to Nancy. He was always playful and seemed harmless to everyone. However, the children slowly started to keep silent, and their parents found scars on their body. They soon realized that Fred Kruger was physically abusing their children at the play school. When he found out that the children had spoken to their parents, Fred Kruger left the city, never to be seen again. That was a very disturbing moment in life for all the children and their parents. So Nancy's mother and all the parents of her friends kept it a secret from them and never mentioned it. They wanted to erase that memory from everyone's mind. After finding out the truth, Nancy starts to gather information on all the other children who were with her in play school. After searching on the internet, she finds out that everyone had died in their sleep. Only 2 left alive from that photo are Nancy herself and Quentin. Meanwhile, Quentin, who hasn't slept for many days, dozes off while swimming. In his dream, he finds himself in a weird place. He then sees Freddy being chased by the parents of all the children from play school. To save his life, Freddy enters a factory, and the parents of the children set the whole factory on fire, which ends up killing Freddy Kruger. Quentin now knows the real reason behind why Freddy was after all of them. Together with Nancy, Quentin goes to confront his father on why they killed Freddy. He says that they took the life of an innocent person. They don't remember anything regarding how Freddy abused them. They were too small, and it could have been that they lied to their parents. But his father says that it couldn't have been a lie. They could see the fear of Freddy in their eyes. Freddy was a monster and he deserved to die. But Quentin is still not ready to agree. He says that according to what they said when they were children, Freddy used to take them to a secret cave which their parents never found. So it's very likely that they were lying. Quentin angrily storms out of his father's office and goes to a chemist. He asks for a pill which will keep him from going to sleep, but the chemist refuses to give him any more pills, stating that it could be dangerous for him. While waiting for Quentin to get back, Nancy's struggling to not fall asleep inside the car. She hasn't slept for days, and now she can't help but go to sleep. In her dream, she enters the medicine shop, and inside Freddy's waiting for her. Freddy attacks Nancy, but surprisingly, he says that he will not kill her, at least not yet. Nancy wakes up from her sleep, and she finds out that she was able to bring a piece of Freddy's cloth with her into the real world. Nancy's wounded, so she's taken to the hospital. The doctor wants to give her an injection to make her sleep, but Nancy strongly refuses to get it. Quentin, on the other hand, manages to steal an adrenaline shot, which will keep him awake. The doctor tells Nancy's mom that she hasn't slept in many days. They have to get her to sleep, or else it could be bad for her. They enter the room, but find out that Nancy is missing. She's left with Quentin in his car. Quentin takes a dose of adrenaline, but Nancy doesn't take it. They go to the play school which they attended together when they were children. They manage to find Freddy's room there, and they also find the secret cave where Freddy used to take them. After going inside, they find some pictures that Freddy took of them when they were children. Seeing those pictures, it becomes clear that Freddy was a monster and their parents were right to take his life. And now Freddy is taking revenge on them for telling their parents about him, which resulted in his death. Nancy recalls that she was able to bring a piece of Freddy's sweater into the real world, so it is possible that they can bring Freddy into the real world as well. But for that, she has to go to sleep. She tells Quentin that she will go to sleep, and when she starts to struggle in her sleep, Quentin has to wake her up. If their plan works, they can bring Freddy into the real world and kill him forever. Nancy then goes to sleep, but a few seconds after, Quentin also falls asleep. In his dream, Quentin gets attacked by Freddy and he gets very heavily injured. Before Freddy could kill him, Nancy arrives there and takes his attention towards herself. She makes Freddy chase her, but since it's Freddy's world, he controls everything and he makes it impossible for Nancy to escape him. Freddy captures Nancy and keeps her bound to a bed. Her dress has been changed to the one that she used to wear in preschool. Freddy says that he saved her life for the very end. His plan is to keep Nancy with him in his world forever. While Nancy in the real world goes into a coma, her spirit will be with Freddy in her dreams, living with him forever. Meanwhile, Quentin wakes up in the real world and finds that Nancy's still asleep. He tries to wake her, but Nancy doesn't wake up. So he takes the adrenaline shot he has with him and he injects it into Nancy's body, which manages to wake Nancy from her sleep. And along with Nancy, Freddy also comes into the real world. Quentin attacks Freddy to kill him, but Freddy is still too strong for him. He's about to kill Quentin, but Nancy cuts his hand from behind. She then takes revenge on everything Freddy did and finally kills him. After killing Freddy, Quentin and Nancy burn the whole place down and get out of there. The fire brigade and police arrive on the scene. Quentin gets taken to the hospital in an ambulance, and they are relieved that they have finally gotten rid of Freddy for good. Later, Nancy goes to her house with her mother, and unfortunately, Freddy is still alive. Nancy starts to scream in horror, and Freddy kills Nancy's mother from the mirror and takes her into his world. Thanks for watching. Let us know your thoughts on this movie down below in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos.